malintesi e nell'amore, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Dio, sono tuo per l'eternità. Dio, tuo per l'eternità. Nella sconfitta, nella vittoria, nella vita intorno a me, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel lavoro e nel riposo, nella gioia e nel dolore, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Sono tuo per l'eternità. Dio, tuo per l'eternità. Quando mi sveglio per salutare il sole, quando esco nella città, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Quando rido e quando piango, nei malintesi e nell'amore, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Dio, sono tuo per l'eternità. Dio, tuo per l'eternità. Nella sconfitta, nella vittoria, nella vita intorno a me, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel lavoro e nel riposo, nella gioia e nel dolore, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Sono tuo per l'eternità. Dio, per l'eternità. Dio, Dio, sono tuo per l'eternità. Dio, Dio, tuo per l'eternità. Quando mi sveglio per salutare il sol, quando esco nella città, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Quando rido e quando piango, nei malintesi e nell'amore, nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Nel silenzio del mio cuor, Signor, penserò solo a te. Sono tuo per l'eternità. Dio, Dio, tuo per l'eternità. Nella sconfitta, nella vittoria, nella vita intorno a me.
Good evening, everyone. Those of us who are here and those that are watching from home.
Good evening. We have Jeff translating in English. Siamo molto international.
This evening, we want to present to you this monastic order that Swami Kriyananda, in the last years and the final years of his life, that was inspired to create. He was inspired by his master Paramhansa Yogananda. And one can ask, a new monastic order, why? Aren't there already enough? In all of the religions in all the world, there are so many different types of monastic orders. Sri 𝗙𝗀𝗁𝗺𝗺, the guru of Yogananda, explained to us in the 1900s we entered into a new era. We entered into the era of energy. Before, we in an era where ignorance thrived, that was heavy, that people were very materialistic. And even the monastic rules needed to be very rigid, severe, dogmatic in order to be followed. And so then probably it was good for that time. In India, we call that time, we call it Kali Yuga, the age of darkness. But now we've entered it into the era of energy. So all of the monastic orders that were founded during Kali Yuga are not adapted to this epoch of energy that we are now living in now. This is why many people that want to dedicate their lives to God don't find themselves at ease with an order, that they don't feel is right for them. So let's give an example. And for the guard, look at the word renounce. When we talk about renounce, this idea of sadness, of denial. I need to give up this, I need to renounce that, so that God can be with me. But it's not this way. Swami Yogananda helped us to understand that to renounce, and how he intended it and how we see it in this monastic order, is to renounce that which blocks us, that's an obstacle in our path towards God, and put awareness and how we feel when we let something go that is weighing heavy on us. So think about when you have something that weighs you down in your basement, because you can't give it away, because this belonged to my grandfather, this belonged to my mother. So this is a weight. So when we how do we have to move and get rid of it? How do we feel? We feel free. And this is we want to underline that Swami Yogananda did. Another important point, is the concept of humility. And how was this concept of humility seen in the past centuries? Oh, I'm not worth anything, I'm not anything. Grazie. And we mortified by. But when we say, I'm not worthy, but when I'm not worth anything, me, we are putting awareness on myself, giving importance to me. While Swami Yogananda said, the true humility is to forget oneself, is to not think about oneself, to think of God, and think of it as God that is working, that works through all of us. And substantially, was that we want to renounce. And we say, and if we think of the ego, we always think of the answer, yes, we want to renounce the ego, and it's the hooks that hold us. And the ego, through a point of our evolution, was necessary. And we need the ego in order to find God. But in a certain moment, it limits us. We need to go beyond. And the vows are very important. And the devout person, and I realized when I took the vow of Swami Yogananda to dress in blue, and he became, his awareness came down on me without me being aware. It's like when you take a vow, it's like when we marry, we assume the responsibility to do our own part, and this is a power. And this vow has 4 different types. This order has 4 different types of vows. The first step in this path of renounce is that of the pilgrim. Becomes less interested and motivated. Become interested in the material thoughts and desires. Being always more aware of the presence of God in his life. He addresses energy, going to flow from the bottom of the world in upwards, from bringing first inside and then bringing it upwards. Also the desire to inspire others to live in this way. And thus, at this point, we want to, after this good song of the joy within, it's dedicated with, we want to present the witness of a pilgrim, one of us that's taken this vote of a pilgrim.
Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò.
Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò.
Dalla gioia
venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò.
Dalla gioia
Venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia I came for joy, I live in sacred joy, I melt again. For joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live in sacred joy, I melt again. Alla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Alla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò. Dalla gioia venni per la gioia, vivo in sacra gioia, mi immergerò.
Shiva. I have taken a vow of the pilgrim. I'm here to share a few words that are about this vow. I understand that I will live according to this understanding, that the life is a pilgrimage, which goal is to find God and to immerse ourselves again in Him. And I offer all of my material desires until we are purified in the fire of bliss. There's this subtle veil that is the ego that on me created a lot of problems that caused my soul to feel that I needed to find only God. This ego made me forget even this day, just 15 minutes ago. And the ego manages to move my attention away. And our soul can never be sad because our soul can't feel just sad, these low things. This is all part of ego. So imagine your soul with God, God, God. And this vow, allow me to take the commitment to help this soul, to protect it, to give it attention, to keep it with continuing support, to always look for God. I like to think of this thing, that the ego is E and O. One of the most beautiful liberties is to do the will of God. And if I put the D from Dharma in front of the E and the O, it's the word Dio, which in Italian is God. And when I go into the church or a temple, this is a continuous call towards God. There's yoga, there's different techniques for this inner search. But this vow has changed my consciousness. And it was really pushed me forward as a disciple. And the firm will to remember that I am God. It's beautiful. It's brought me, when I take this vow, it brought me into one of the most beautiful blessings that have changed my life, that I want to share with you. I was a Swami Kriyananda, and I went to Swami. I was young, and I said I want to do something important that changed my life. He could understand that I wasn't able to understand, but he said to me something that saved my life. He said, whatever happens to you and that you do, and you will have to attach it to the hand of the Divine Mother, never to let your grip go. This will help you in any other thing that you need to do. This really moves me. And every time I faced something that was difficult, it came back here. Every time I came back there. And then when I made this vow, this has already happened. I'm doing it voluntarily to hold on this hand, Divine Mother, to help my soul, to want just her to address my work just towards the sacred. And as a parent, my relationship, my children, only speaking of God and bringing the presence of God, because a pilgrimage is a sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice. You go to you see the Madonna in many temples. You see her up above the sacrifice. And it's this great reality that God has never made a mistake. And so if we put our hands in God, entering into daily life with a vow of renouncing everything that I know distances me from God, and you will be safe for always. And I can always be grateful to Swami Kriyananda that gave me this possibility with this book of a pilgrim to see how I was and how I can go towards people in this case. And it's at this profound level, more vast. It's important. Vow. It's a vow of effort to only live for God. And every initiation transformed me, transformed my consciousness. There's a piece. There's a piece from I want to close with on God of love. You are the soul, sun. And when you leave, the night will be with God. So you always be with God. Look well. So thank you, Shiva, for this beautiful witness. So the vow of the pilgrim, externally doesn't change anything. You see others that are dressed in blue or yellow, but the pilgrim, there's nothing specific that you see on the outside. There's something that many of you know, and it's true that this vow was created by Swami Kriyananda, a disciple of Yogananda. But it's not, there's others from us that are not linked to Swami Kriyananda, but was just a gift of Swami Kriyananda to the world. It's not linked to Yogananda and everyone else. If you see a Hindu or a Jainist and there's a part who want to be a part of this order can be a part of this order. The only thing this order asks is the willingness to overcome our ego and to connect ourselves to God and to find God. And it's something between the person and God. It's not about having blue clothing. And it doesn't mean you have a higher level of responsibility or not even becoming a minister. You can be a Nayaswami will explain to you later, and you can then wash dishes full of joy. So now we'll see the next order, which is that of brahmacharya, which wears yellow, the color yellow. The brahmacharya is the next step towards the search towards renouncing. And they want to have anything in their lives that gratifies the ego, and they try always to please God in everything. And they see everything as a dream of God, and they see as His gift everything that is added to their lives. And I say to them that all of these things that we're saying to you are things that take time. We try our best to train these things. We can. Not something that someone takes a vow and they're already perfected. We know well how much we need to work on ourselves to go beyond our limits, but the vow helps us in this. So now we will hear the song "My Heart Is Yours." They are all different songs to underline the devotion to God, because this vow is between us and God, whatever the path that we follow.
Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Il mio cuore è tuo, Signore, sempre tuo, cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò. Cantando a te, amando te, nella gioia del ciel vivrò.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gopala, and I took the vow of brahmacharya in 2013. And before everything, I'm going to say that the vow of brahmacharya is part of the 8 parts of Patanjali. And it's not, there are 5 yamas and 5 niyamas in yoga of the Patanjali. And they have to do with sensuality and not to indulge in sensuality and sex. It means flow with Dharma, flow with God. And this aspect of God and Dharma is that which creates and manifests. And to say what happens when we talk about this. This thought, we'll say what happened to the spectators of creation. But here at Ananda, Swami taught us the thought, what we want to happen. And this puts us in attunement with what the universe wants to happen in our lives, and to become participants and actors with the Creator, like with Shiva. First, we want to do the will of God, not my own will. My own will is not free. Most people aren't free. They have attachments and desires, and they like to do that which they like to do, and made to be free. The freedom of the soul, which we need to find in ourselves, that we already are free as children of God. And then, in fact, this vow, part of it says, a renouncement to attachment to things, to people, to the roles, and to our own self-definition. I will define myself sempre as a child of God. And He will, whatever guide I need, He will give to me. And I won't renounce the things or the people, or the places, or the attachment. Swami Kriyananda had many things from Yogananda as well. He visited many places, but the attachments, there's foul things that we need to renounce things. We need to enjoy together with God, with joy. It's a vow of devotion, like Clarita said before. And who renounce to every self-definition except for one. Why do I say self-definition? Because Yogananda said that we are a mass of self-definitions. That which we really are, that which we really truly are. So I identify with my body, but when I die, I go on. I don't die; just my body dies, but I continue. And other self-definitions of man, woman, or I'm jealous, or many things that we define. We are not free of this now. To define ourselves and to not identify ourselves with these things. It's very important not to identify ourselves in this path. And except for one, we can always identify myself as a child of God and go whatever direction He guides us. And I was thinking, as a son of God, wow, I was made from God. Like they say, made in God, just like the clothing or food is labeled as made in Italy. But once in a while, we have low self-esteem, or if we discredit ourselves, we need to think that there's a part of us that was made from God, that's which we want to live. And there's no design. You say one design that you made, so we need to enjoy that's which we have. And we say the things that bring us to, so and to renounce means to renounce the suffering, that which makes us unhappy, that or doesn't bring us to God. And this is a bit more difficult because there's the ego, and to begin with Shiva. And the ego wants to do that, wants to do what to do without listening to the soul. So to feel the guide, accept the welcome the guide. There's a story in the mountains, and he was holding on for dear life, and he said, "What can I do? God, help me! Please help me." He said, "Let yourself go." And they said, "Is there someone else above?" And this is the way we are. And we're thinking, whatever God guides me to do, because it's not always easy. God is one step in front of the other. We are just always beginning on the next step in our lives. And sometimes the guy is not very pleasurable, missing God. So, he said, you really love me, and you sent me here to overcome, otherwise you trusted me to overcome, and you sent me. This is a love that God has to put us to the test, because he believes in us. So thank you. Thank you. Have you imagined the vow of Brahmacharya is dressed in yellow? I hadn't said it earlier. Joy is a point. That's a fundamental point. When Yogananda entered into the monastery of his guru, Sri 𝗙𝗀𝗁𝗺, he went around very solemn and serious. And his master said, where are you going? This is not a funeral. To find God is the funeral of all of your sufferings. And God is joy. And so it's very important to express this joy. But to express this joy, we need to experience this joy. We need to feel this joy. It can't be a false or pretend joy. And to be in contact with God and be near Him is a perfect system to be in contact with His joy. Swami Yogananda observed in his communities. Let me take a step back at the beginning. There were many monks in his community. And at times it happened that the monks look at who was married with a little bit, with the nose up in the air, with a bit of superiority, say, oh, we're renunciants, but you're married. And so what do you think Swami Yogananda did? He got married. Just to take away this veil of illusion of the people that thought to be a monk was level that was closer to God. And then after there was this vow, the monastic vow, this vow to just be alone. And he looked around in Ananda's community, and he saw that the people married that had a joyful spirit of service. So he thought it's absurd to exclude them from a vow, from the possibility of having a monastic vow. And so, in this new order, for the new era, he thought of the people who were married, and it's called the Tyagi, and they dress in white, and naturally, for a person that lives here in Ananda and takes on the vow of brahmacharya and yagi, or Nayaswami, or those that go dressed in blue, it's outside the normal, but people who live in society, they don't need to be stopped. They can visual just whatever. Something will remind them of the vow, like a blue scarf or another blue piece of clothing. So now we'll take about the married people that take vows, which are known as Tyagi. And the purpose of a Tyagi, the purpose of their life, is to find God and to please God, and to consider their partner as a channel of the blessings of God, of His guidance and His strength, and to extend the service and love toward partner as an extension of his love and service towards humanity. So now we hear how much I love you, and then we hear from a Tiago. I realize now that I've never introduced myself. So now I'll tell you that my name is Clarita.
Quanto ti amerò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Quanto ti amerò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Quanto ti cercherò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Quanto ti cercherò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Quanto ti servirò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Quanto ti servirò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Quanto ti amerò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Quanto ti amerò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò brucerò l'ego in te. Quanto ti cercherò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Quanto ti cercherò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Quanto ti servirò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Quanto ti servirò, mio Signore, tutta la mia vita. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te. Come un fuoco arde il bosco, brucerò l'ego in te.
The first time that I attended a vow of renouncements, I had not been here in Ananda for a couple more months. It was the first part of my relationship with Shanti Dev. I was here in the temple, so I came to this ceremony. And so, what is this order of renouncement? I wasn't sure, so I sat here and listened. And when I listened, when all of the different vows, I felt this power in me that pushed me this far ahead on this road. And it's normally, normally my street is all these twists and turns, but this was like this straight, clear road, so precise. And of course, it was too early for us to take this vow. We first had to get married and our relationship. But this desire for this vow arose so soon. It was like this compass. It's like Clarita said, and it gives us direction. This clarity, this vow, the essence that needs to be the voyage of a couple, as Clarita said. This is something that's very profound to me, thinking of my companion as a channel of the blessings of the strength of God, and always try my best to be the same type of channel. And this vow, the different of the ones we sent in, because it's not just between me and God. There's me and God, but also another person. So, of course, it conditions it's not always so easy. We could be channeling one for the other, one at time, one for more, one for less. And this can be a difficulty at times for a couple. By the time one sees if one has more difficulty, others there to sustain them. I was saying when we're not able to be perfectly aligned or in the couple. That space which helps us to don't forget about the direction we're on together. And at the beginning, it could be difficult that both of us are aligned in this. I was able to see what is the power of the couple and the reciprocal. There's a reciprocal help and reciprocal support. See the best part of ourselves when one wants to feel a certain way, the other's there to show us who we really are, how much. And other years that have passed, and I think it was just 3 years ago that we took the vow. The years that passed in the meantime was to align ourselves in this direction, this space, and to transform the relationship of a couple. In general, the relationship of a couple is you and I. But when you're on the wave of this promise, the couple becomes, we see each other connected, walking towards the same goal in the same direction, and which want to sustain both of each one and the other. So we did the votes. That when we took the vows, we felt we were already connected. We were already walking the same path. And we need to be ready externally, that we were already feeling interior. And the vows, like an experience, that which we read is very profound. It's there in our daily lives, that we need to align ourselves to this promise we made to God. And one last thing I'm trying to end with, that I often heard said, that you are renunciates, but I don't think we've really renounced anything. I felt that we had let go of that relationship. That wasn't really that important, because it sort of brings us to essence. But it's not to renounce anything, but it's something that can bring us something, a relationship that has the blessing, both together on the same path. And this is the blessing. So when there's opportunity to live the spiritual path, that it doesn't become something you renounce. It's something that just adds to the relationship. And so therefore, the next part of the vow helps us understand how expansive this vow is. And it's not restrictive. I will always try with respect and forgiveness. So I will always try through love and respect to my companion, and to my companion and create humanity with the same love and respect. From me and from my God, it becomes us that walk towards God. And this couple, we expand with the love and the respect for service for the whole world. So I'm talking about renunciation. Then come to me that come this story that I read in the autobiography of a yogi, of this great saint, that comes from a very rich family. And his disciples around him, and his disciples said, "We admire you so much because you have renounced everything to follow the way towards God." And he, with a very ironic, typical of the great masters, it seems to me that you have the question upside down. From my point of view, It is you that are the true renunciates, because you renounce all of the great treasure of God to be attached to all of these toys that are around you on the earth. And so now we see to the final vow of renunciation. So if something, subject interests you, you can find this book, Swami Kriyananda, Renunciate Order for a New Era, that he wrote very quickly when he felt this fire of inspiration. And then we all were stood behind to take these vows. And the vow of complete renunciation, and Nayaswami, which means new Swami, can also be taken, who is married, who is a companion, just as a channel of God, and completing himself, and always to unite himself all of the opposites of duality. They don't accept as different entities, but they offer their lives without reserve to the great ocean of awareness of God. So please, as you know, this is an aspiration only. We always try and go in that direction and do our best. And so now the song will be I Only Want You. And then we'll hear from Nayaswami Uma.
Voglio solo te, Dio, te, solo te. 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 Voglio te, solo te. Voglio solo te, Dio 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 te, solo te.
Good evening, everyone.
Buonasera a tutti.
I relatively recently was reading again about the apparitions in Medjugorje.
Poco fa stavo leggendo delle apparizioni a Medjugorje.
And one of the things I hadn't heard before, you may have, I don't know,
È una delle cose che io ho sentito, non ho sentito, che forse voi avete già sentito,
was that one of the visionaries, 𝗙𝗀𝘀𝗁𝗃,
che uno dei visionari, 𝗙𝘀𝘁𝗁𝗃,
I think it's years ago, I don't think it's recent, but
credo è successo anni fa, non recentemente.
she had a brain tumor.
Lei aveva un tumore del cervello
And it caused great pain for her.
e per lei ha causato tanto dolore.
And she's seeing the Madonna every day.
E lei
So
vede la Madonna
you
tutti i
can
giorni,
imagine.
quindi potete immaginare.
They had a conversation about this.
Allora hanno fatto una conversazione su questo,
Can you take away this pain?
che tu puoi togliere da me questo dolore.
And the Madonna said,
E la Madonna ha detto,
do you want to continue seeing me?
vuoi continuare a vedermi?
And she said, of course I do.
E lei diceva, certo che sì.
Then, if you want to see me,
Quindi
you will still have pain.
se vuoi vedermi ancora, devi soffrire, cioè il dolore.
Or I can leave and heal you.
O io posso andare via e guarirti.
And she let 𝗙𝗀𝘀𝗁𝗃 do this for 40 days.
E lei ha permesso 𝗙𝗀𝘀𝗁𝗃 di fare questo per 40 giorni,
To have no pain
di non avere il dolore
and not see the Madonna.
e non vedere la Madonna.
And 𝗙𝗀𝘀𝗁𝗃 said, I want to see you.
E 𝗙𝗀𝘀𝗁𝗃 ha
I
detto,
don't care about the pain.
voglio vederti, non mi importa del dolore.
What the Madonna is obviously not just being mean.
Ovviamente la Madonna non fa per essere crudele.
It's about the fact, and Shiva said this when he spoke, and each one has mentioned it,
Per il fatto, come ha detto Shiva prima, anche gli altri,
that when we choose to live a spiritual life sincerely and deeply,
quando noi scegliamo di vivere una vita spirituale sinceramente e profondamente,
it is a sacrifice.
che è un sacrificio,
You are a renunciate.
siete un rinunciante.
Whether you wear white, yellow, blue,
Se
or
vestite
orange.
in giallo, blu, bianco o arancione.
It's the heart trying to live in the highest possible way.
È il cuore che sta cercando di vivere nel modo più alto possibile.
That's a challenge for the ego.
È una sfida per l'ego.
And all these beautiful souls that you've heard.
E tutte queste belle anime che
And
avete
the fact
sentito.
of it being directional.
Il fatto che è una direzionale.
It's true for all of us.
È vero per tutti noi.
And that's the beauty of what Swami has created with this order.
E questa è la bellezza che Swami ha creato con questo ordine.
And Ananda communities, the same thing.
E anche le comunità di Ananda è la stessa cosa.
It takes care of every facet of human nature.
E prende cura di ogni parte della natura umana.
Because some people are happy, very happy, alone.
Quindi alcune persone sono felici da sole.
They easily feel joy alone.
È facile per loro sentire la gioia da solo.
But there are others that don't.
Però sono altri che non sentono così.
There are people that want to be in relation. There are people that want to live only me and God. It doesn't matter.
Ci sono persone che vogliono vivere un rapporto, altre che vogliono vivere con se stesso e Dio, non importa.
The important thing is that we feel expansive, that we feel joy.
La cosa importante è che sentiamo espansi, sentiamo la gioia.
And that we feel close to God.
E che ci sentiamo più vicino a Dio.
When we get to the pearly gates, I don't know how Italians say pearly gates. When we get to heaven.
Quando arriviamo al paradiso con questi famosi cancello di perla, non so se esiste.
We are not going to be asked what color did you wear.
Dio non ci chiede che colore hai messo.
We are going to be asked about our hearts, our souls.
Lui ci chiede delle nostre cuore, delle nostre anime.
Did you love? Did you live in joy?
Hai amato, sei vissuto nella gioia.
Did you expand your reality to include other realities?
Hai espanso la tua realtà per includere le realtà degli altri.
Did you control the impulses to be negative, judgmental, critical, etc.?
Sei riuscito a controllare gli impulsi di giudicare, di essere negativi, eccetera.
That's the important stuff.
Questa è la cosa importante.
And when 𝗙𝘀𝘁𝗁 talks about in her little story, she said, I don't know why I waited 40 days. I mean, it was instant. I can't live without seeing her.
𝗙𝘀𝘁𝗁 ha stato nella sua storia, cioè non doveva aspettare 40 giorni, era istante che sapeva che voleva rivedere la Madonna.
And we have these 5 avatars guiding us every step of the way.
E noi abbiamo questi 5 avatar che ci guidano ogni passo della via.
The other part of this that's very important is, Clarita mentioned, it's directional.
L'altra parte che è importante di questo, come ha detto Clarita, è il fatto che è direzionale.
God and gurus know where we are.
Dio e i guru sanno dove siamo, dove ci troviamo.
And they just want us to not suffer.
E loro vogliono solo che noi non soffriamo.
That's, I think, the great challenge for human beings is to realize, for the ego anyway, part of human beings.
E questa è la sfida più grande per l'umanità, almeno l'ego che fa parte dell'esseri umani.
Is that renunciation, how Master put it is, the world seems to promise everything.
E come ha detto il maestro, il mondo fa promessa per tutto.
But in the end, doesn't deliver.
Però alla fine non arriva.
But renunciation, self-control, seems to take away, but in the end gives you everything.
Però di rinunciare sembra che toglie tutto, però alla fine riporta invece tutto.
It gives you everything. So when we hear the word renunciation, it immediately is what are you renouncing? What are you leaving?
Quando sentiamo la parola rinunciare, subito pensiamo a cosa stiamo lasciando.
But
Cosa
in
lasciamo
fact,
dietro.
it's what are you gaining?
Però invece
That's the only important thing.
è quello che stiamo ricevendo, questa è la cosa importante.
So just to the two sentences that jump out for me in the Nayaswami vow.
Queste due frasi che voglio sottolineare nel voto della Nayaswami.
I accept nothing as mine,
Io accetto niente come mio,
no one as mine,
nessuno come mio,
no talent,
nessun talento,
no success,
nessun successo,
no achievement
nessun traguardo
is mine,
è mio.
but everything is thine alone.
Però tutto è tuo solo.
I am free in thy joy
Io sono libero nella tua gioia
and will rejoice forever
e vedrò la gioia per sempre
in thy blissful presence.
nella tua presenza, beatitudine.
For I have no goal in life
Non c'è un obiettivo nella vita,
but to know thee
solo per conoscere te
and to serve as thy channel
e ti servire come tuo canale
of blessing to all humanity.
di benedizione per tutta l'umanità.
God bless you all.
Dio vi benedica tutti. '21, '22, '23 November. There will be a course during the weekend for who is interested to deepen their knowledge of this subject, or who wants to take the vow of pilgrim, or wants to go deeper into the vow that they have, or take the next vow. And soon also there will be available. There will be a page on the website, anandaeurope.org, where you can find many inspiring things. There'll be many talks on YouTube given by Swami Ananda and many other on this topic. So we have arrived to the end of the evening, and I want to tell you about something that Swami Ananda said in his time here. He asks about hell, about eternal damnation, and he also had a sense of humor. He said, "We are all condemned. We all condemned to find God. It's just a question of time. We are all pieces of God. God created us, putting part of us in vibration. There is nothing that is beyond God. We also were created like this. We have inside of us the light of God." So I want to finish putting the candles here as a symbol of our inner light. And if you want to, you can light the candle and put it here on the altar. Not too close to the cloth. You can take the candle.
Rivelati, 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 rivelati.
So now we've arrived to the end. I thank of you who participated, that were here together with us, everything that we do. When we put for the effort to bring light into the world, as its weight, the world has need of light. Light is stronger than darkness. We need to try and to expand it as much as possible. Thank you to everyone. Good night.
Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Love is all I know, sun rays on the snow of a winter long, in darkness without song. Oh, my heart's a fire, burning all desire. Only you remain, and life again. Too long I did stray, flung lifetimes away, imagined you did not care. I know now your smile was mine all the while. I listened and love was there. I can't breathe